Welcome to Resource Sessions. I'm Gwendolyn Sterk of Sterk Family Law, and I'm honored and privileged to have a new organization with us today called Giveback. And Shameco Moore is with us today. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, no problem. We're excited to learn about your organization. So tell us a little bit. First of all, let's talk about the name. How did you get the name?
So it started with the name Give Something Back. And I feel like that's such a great question to start with. Our founder, his name is Bob Carr Sr. He graduated from Lockport High School many moons ago, and he received a $250 scholarship that he doesn't even remember applying for. But he
Okay.
received a scholarship and it completely changed his life. He made a decision that if he ever, quote unquote, made it, he would give something back. And so he decided to start this organization. And I'm privileged to be able to represent the organization today and to work for it as well.
That's fantastic. So, what year was the organization started?
It started in 2003, and we've been helping students overcome adversity by providing a supportive community, personal coaching, and educational support since then. And we
Uh,
put thousands of students through college debt free.
that's
There are
fantastic.
different partner high schools and partner colleges that we work with.
And what communities do you service in our local area?
We have DuPage County. We have some high schools in Cook County. Most of our high schools are in Will County. And just to name a couple areas, Romeoville, Bolingbrook, we have both of those high schools, Joliet, those different areas, Lockport, of course.
That's fantastic. Now, if a student is listening today or a parent and they're saying, wow, this might be an opportunity for my child to get some services, first of all, how would they reach out to
Mhm.
you?
Well, my name is Shameco Moore, as was stated. You can always just send me a quick email. It's super easy. Shameco.moore@giveback.ngo, or you could go to our website, which is Giveback, www.giveback.n as in Nancy, G as in gift, zero or O, giveback.ngo. Easy to
Very good.
remember.
Now, let's unpack all those different services because you listed so many opportunities for young people to really get some help here. So let's unpack them one at a time. So, can we go over them again?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing I want to talk about is the long-term coaching. A lot of wonderful organizations are out there, but they provide support maybe for a year or two. When students onboard into our program, eighth or ninth grade is when they come into our program.
Okay.
Our coach stays with that student all the way through high school. So freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, and then when they go into college or into their career, we also have an alumni coordinator that follows up with a student. So it's really long term that we're really investing in our students to make sure that they're not just successful for themselves, but for their families, and then hopefully coming back to give back to their community.
That's
So that's
fantastic.
one.
And
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the coaching, you're coaching them on what they're doing in high school, what their future is. Can you give us some framework for that?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things I want to talk about, first of all, is finances. Um, a lot of people get a little, antsy when it comes to money for going to college or any type of education post-secondary. So we make sure that students know about the FAFSA, that they're prepared for that. We walk them through it if they have questions. We also have financial support, as I stated before, for students that are going to one of our partner schools or into a trade. Educational and employment support is provided while they're in high school. So, what I mean by educational support is if they are having a problem in one of their subjects, we can actually say, hey, let's help you find some support on that. We don't actually do the tutoring, but we
Sure.
do connect them with support in that area. And just having someone besides a parent, and I come from education. So, besides a parent, a teacher, or a counselor, having that additional adult that's checking on you, talking to you twice a month, making sure that things are good in your life and that you're on the right path means so much to our students. And you would think it would just mean a lot to students that are having a lot of difficulties, but we're finding that across the board, students need support, emotional support, as well as that educational and employment support. So I talked about education. What about the employment? I am so excited to talk about that today. So, we have received a huge grant from the Illinois Department of Human Services. Last summer was the first summer for 2024. We just received it again for 2025. And for students between the ages of 16 and 24, we will be able to pay them up to $17 an hour for them to work in employment in their neighborhood, in their community. And so we're connecting students with the, chamber. We're connecting students with the YMCA, with different organizations and opportunities with a local vet for them to be able to have some type of internship or employment opportunity and get paid. So that's pretty
That's a
exciting.
fantastic opportunity because, sometimes, and if you look back even at our own careers and when we were in high school, you were looking at different options. I can think about all the different careers I thought of, right? But to really get that hands-on experience can help you focus on what it is that you think your talents are good for and what you want to do and pursue.
I 100% agree with that. When did you know you wanted to go into your career?
Well, frankly, I didn't know I wanted to go into law until I was in college already. I was
Okay.
starting out to be a history professor. It was totally different. I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea I'd go to law school. And so then when I was in college, I got new opportunities and coaching to go into debate and other things. And then eventually the whole world opened up. So
Mm-hmm.
you're right. A lot of people you have those questions. I had no idea that I would end up where I was. I think that it was God calling me to this field, but that's a different story, right?
Well, I heard you're really good at what you do. So yes, that's a different story. But I think it does lend to the fact that some students don't know what they want to do. And
Right,
even if they do start college, they can start as an undeclared major and then they can
right.
decide, what it is that they want to do after that. But we provide long-term coaching, as I mentioned, the education and employment support, and then career pathway planning, which we kind of touched on a little bit. We
Sure.
do try to find out in high school, what is it that you're interested in? And
Right.
a lot of times we hear students say medical and engineering. Like, okay,
Okay, those are
that's
two different
really,
worlds, right?
those are totally different
Yeah,
tracks. And so we try to give them some exposure to those different career fields. So at some point, something clicks and they're like, oh, okay, well, this is what I'm interested in. Or I didn't know that if I go into medicine that, I'm going to have to deal with this or that. So we just want to open their eyes and make them realize also there's not just about the bottom line of a dollar amount. It's about, a lifestyle choice. What is it that you want to do? How is it that you want to show up in this world? And what is it that you want to give back?
right.
And then, you can do that through work.
Mhm. 100%. And I think that, you do have to explore those options because you do have those two talents. I often laugh. There was a part of me that wanted to be an actuary. And I think that that wouldn't be for me at all, given my personality. But there's, that mathematical component I like. So when I hear somebody say engineering and medical, although very different, could be
Yes,
that their brain works that way, right? So
that's true. That's
interesting.
true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But guidance and giving that guidance and having an adult there to be able to provide that for youth is so important.
It's huge. It's huge. And then we do have another program that well, actually two programs. Can I talk about those real quick?
Sure, of course.
Okay, so one program is a careers program, and then the other is a prepaid program, and it's kind of like two different tracks. So
Okay.
if the student is on the prepaid program track, that means that they're on track to go to one of our partner schools when they graduate, and then they have a prepaid seat, hence the name prepaid. So for 4 years, they have to graduate in 4 years. So for 4 years, that seat is paid for them to go to school. We don't cover all the costs. We definitely cover a lot of the costs for their education, but are some out of pocket expenses that they do need to be able to cover that they work with family with. But that's the prepaid part. Okay. And then the careers part is for a student that says, you know what? I'm having a hard enough time in high school. I really don't want to do another 4 years or plus for college. I want to go into a career that's going to be a sustainable wage for me and my family in the future. What are some options for me? And then we kind of help them with that. So those are the two paths.
Right. And a lot of people, they choose that route, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can make a good living, sometimes a higher living than some of the college choices,
I agree with
because some of
that.
them people don't realize, some of those careers sound grandiose, but they don't pay as much. if
Mhm.
you're looking at providing for a family. So there's nothing wrong, and everybody has a calling in their life to be able to choose which one to go into. So I think it's wonderful to look at those different paths, because I think that sometimes in the past, those children were left behind.
I
Nobody
agree
was
with
there.
that. I agree with that. They were kind of like the people or the students that fell in between the cracks because the counselors and especially the parents were focused on a 4-year school, you know, higher education, make sure you go to school. And they didn't even receive an option for a trade, for
Right,
example, you
right.
know, or something along those lines. It was just, nope, go to university and that's it. And I went to university. I learned a lot about myself there. I love my college experience, but I also realize that that's not for everybody. So,
Right. And there's got to be some practical application. And even if you're getting a 4-year education, or, we can talk about different upper degrees, a lot of times that education is not as practical, and you're ending up having to train yourself in those practical realities anyway. So it's a very interesting, diverse set of paths that are opportunities for people to get involved with. So how does it work in the high school? So you say that you can get involved as early as 8th grade. Do you have people in the school? How does this mechanically operate?
okay. So we have what's called student coaches, and these are not volunteers, these are paid staff members. And the staff actually has a group of students that they're responsible for working with. We have times of recruitment, which we're actually in right now. Times of recruitment where we go out and we meet with different superintendents, principals, counselors. We tell them about us, who we are. We're in a place right now where we've been around for over 20 years. Most people and most organizations have, and school districts have heard of us. We just let them know we're in our recruitment cycle. If you want us to come out, share some information with your families, with the parents and with the students, let us know. Just recently, just today, I received an email from Brooks Middle School in Bolingbrook. So we'll be going there in a couple months to go and share some information with a program that they already have set up, where we're coming in and set up a table and share some information with parents and students. Now, I don't want to make it sound like it's easy. Like, oh, you want to be in a program? Okay, you're in the program. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
In order to get into our program, there is a process. And the first process is to fill out just an information sheet, just saying, hey, I'm interested. So it's an interest form. You can do it online, just who you are, how did you hear about us, and what's your contact information, your year in school, where you go to school. And then from that point, we reach out to you, we talk to your parent. We want to make sure that your parent or someone isn't just pushing you to be in the program. Do you really want to do it? And so if the student is really interested, and they have maybe not a parent all the time. We have some students that are in foster care or different situations, but they have some type of caring adult in their life. It can be a counselor that's saying, yes, I recommend this person, and they're writing a letter of reference for that student. That's the next step. We need 2 years worth of information on their grades, making sure that we have their transcripts. And then from that point, they have an interview process. So they do an interview, it can be in person or it can be online like we are right now. And they have an interview process. They're asked some questions about their future, about what their thought process is. And then from there, there's another step. It's
Mhm.
the national review. So
Okay.
because we are in 11 different states, we don't
Mhm.
want it to be like, oh, okay, well, in Illinois, yeah, we just put these students in. No, they have to go through a process where there are people from different states that come together, and we look at everything. We look at the transcripts, the letter of reference, all the information on the student, and then we collectively make a decision. Yes, we're going to pass this student on for executive review, or no, we don't think this is a good student for the program. So once they get in, they're in, and I feel like
Um,
they're set. Mm-hmm.
that's fantastic. But I mean, it sounds like you have to work for this. This isn't something that's just handed out to you.
And I wanted to point that out because a lot of programs are like that, which is fine, but we're not. And I just, I think that sometimes that's the thought process. Even when I talk to parents, when I first started working for Giveback, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, my child can be in that. Okay, well, now they need to go through the process, and we
Mhm.
need to make sure that they're going to be committed. We have Scholar Saturdays, which are an event that we have nationally online on Zoom, and students from all across the country come on there. We have people like yourself, put a little plug in for you to come speak one day.
All
We
right.
have, professionals like yourself from all over the country that come on and just invest in our students and give information to them. We have a career fair coming up on this coming Saturday, and we have some locals from Illinois that have volunteered to be on there and talk to students about their careers. And we have a couple people from New York and different places that are going to come and talk to students, which is what we talked about earlier. Them getting
Right.
a better idea of what is a typical day like? What does it really take to be a lawyer? What does
Right.
it really take to,
Mhm.
go into this nursing field and not
Right.
just pie in the sky, this is what
Yeah.
I think I want to do.
Right. No, and I understand that because I think that the reality is much different than the glamour. I always say to
That's the
something,
word.
don't go into law if you think it's going to be some kind of glamorous trade. You're going to be going lunching every day. It's just not, that's
Yeah.
not reality, right? And that doesn't mean that it's not fulfilling because it's a wonderful career, but
Mm-hmm.
that's true of most careers. And I think that reality is really important to give the
Yeah.
sense. And I appreciate that the students have to work for it and really prove
Thank
that they
you.
want to be part of the program going forward. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say that we're listening and somebody today is saying, well, this is just a wonderful program. I'd like to get involved with Giveback.
Mm-hmm.
So I might not be a student when I have an occupation, but I'd like to work or donate or what
Mm-hmm.
options are available? Let's start there.
Again, let's go to giveback.ngo.
Okay.
And they can go online, they can give online. I mean, it's right there, donate at the top
Sure.
with neon signs.
Right.
Totally simple to donate. They can even say what specifically they want to donate for. I want the donation to go specifically for a student from this school, which is a school I graduated from. Or they can say, I want specifically, I've had lately a lot of donations come in from different businesses that I partner with. I work in community relations, and I do a workplace readiness initiative, which you all have been participating in the last couple of years. But I do a workplace readiness initiative where we go into the schools and we cover email etiquette, phone etiquette, workplace basics, and employability skills for all the junior level students in the school. And then all of our students, whether they're freshmen through senior, are able to come into the initiative. And so, because of that, we've had um, Walgreens, we've had Macy's, Wintrust Bank. I'm gonna get in trouble if I start naming names and I don't get everybody, but we've had a
Sure.
lot of different companies just raise their hand and say yes. Susie Sheehan of State Farm in Lockport, to just say yes, we want to participate in this initiative. And so
Got
they
it.
go online and they put
Okay.
in the amount that they want to participate for or donate, and then they put that they want to donate specifically to the workplace readiness initiative. So there's a lot of different ways to get involved. As I mentioned earlier, we do cover for our students in a prepaid program for their housing, we cover for their tuition, but they have other costs. And at the top of our list are students that are dear to our founder's heart, which are any students that are in foster care or ever been in foster care, have ever experienced any type of homelessness, which isn't even they're living with somebody that, if they don't have their own home,
Sure.
homelessness, and then if they've ever had a parent that was incarcerated. And
Okay.
so we have students that are coming, they go to the top of our list.
Mhm.
And so they have high priority. So we have students that are coming into our program from very broken situations
Sure.
and backgrounds. And so, even though we're looking at it like, oh, wow, my housing is covered, my tuition is covered, I got it made, there might be looking at it like, okay, well, I have this gap funding that still
Right.
needs to kind of go. So we might get a person to come online and say, hey, I want to give towards that for Illinois students or what have you.
So this sounds like there's a lot of options. And I really do appreciate the story that it really originated from your founder getting a scholarship, really not knowing the background and then giving back that scholarship. I think that's an amazing story because I think that everyone should go back and look at the scholarships that they got from school and at least give back that over the lifetime of their career, right? Because if we all did that,
Good point.
and if you think
Mm-hmm.
about that as kind of an initiative, whatever you got, you give back over the lifetime of your career, really kind of helps then push it forward to the next generation. And it can be different levels of scholarships. There might be a reason why one person got a scholarship versus another, that might be donating. And I know that that's been the heart of a lot of people that have done the scholarship programs in the past. So what a wonderful initiative to go forward. Do you have any programs in the future, any upcoming events in particular where somebody could participate as well?
We do, and I want to mention those, but you just said something that I want to hit on if I can really
Sure, of
quickly.
course.
And that is, I just want to toot the horn for our founder. Like I said, his name is Bob Carr Sr. He grew up in the Chicagoland area, came out here, went to Lockport High School. But I'm sitting here right now working for this organization because of him. I had an opportunity to take another position, but I started watching videos online of Bob Carr talking about the organization before I ever met him or knew, a lot about it.
Sure.
And I could feel his heart. Kind of like with you. You know when you meet
Thank you.
someone and it's like, this is a
Mhm.
person that's real and they really want to, build community. And I could sense that through the screen, never having met him. And I said, this is what I want to be a part of. And, I do want to say that not just for the students and the parents that are listening, but whoever this podcast might go out to, really look for an opportunity where you can make a difference, not just make money, because of course we all need that, but
Right,
also follow purpose, and I think that that leads you to your wealthy place. I'll put it like that. All right,
right.
so the upcoming events, we have workplace readiness events coming up. Sterk Law will be involved. So I just want to put that out there. So super excited about that. But we have one at Romeoville High School
Mhm.
on February 6th in the morning. And we have Bolingbrook High School on February 20th. Again, that'll be in the morning. Joliet Central is March 5th. And then Joliet West is March 20th. March 20th. And then we've already had I flew out to New York for Frank Sinatra High School in October. And I just heard back from the principal today. He's super excited. He wants us to come out there again. We had a great time with their students there. They were amazing, amazing. And then we also, in November, had Lockport High School. And a student won. Every time we go, a student wins a $250 Macy's gift card, and they're able to go out and purchase professional attire.
Very nice. So it's wonderful. Those are opportunities that people can get involved. Well, we certainly admire what you're doing, admire the story from the founder, and know that people are looking for those opportunities to give back. And it's a really cool way to get involved and really promote somebody to the next level, right? Taking what
Yes.
you got and giving back again. And it's such an opportunity to listen to what you're doing and to give back in this way. So we really appreciate everything that you're doing. And thank you so much for what you add into our local community. We admire what you do.
Well, right back at you.
Thank you so
We
much.
totally admire everything that you're doing and how you're taking your time to be able to actually be the person on here doing the interviewing. I think that's amazing. And we really appreciate it. I have to say, I didn't hear of Sterk Law until I saw it on LinkedIn and I saw the Heroes program had just ended. And I
Right.
reached out to the organization. I said, who are you all? I want to learn about you.
Yeah,
So I'm
so, and
glad we
then before you
connected.
know it, you're the not-for-profit hero and
Right,
it's
right,
going full
exactly.
circle. So as we enter into 2025, we're looking for additional programs that are out there because I'm a believer that the not-for-profits then also need to communicate with each other because we all have something to give and give back. So we appreciate it again. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.